Abdominals section 2 of the second series. We're going to be starting on our backs. We're going to be doing 2 different variations of single leg stretch to start. So let's go ahead and we get into that hook line position with our hips and knees bent and our knees and feet hip width apart. Go ahead and lengthen out your spine, kind of scoot your shoulders away from your hips. And just a little flexing or flattening of the low back and extending it. Oh, kind of moving around a little bit, and then go ahead and flatten it now. We're going to go into that flattened spine position here, where what we also call imprint in Pilates. We're going to maintain that throughout the exercise, full contact. That's where you're really going to need to work your lower abdominals, pelvic floor to keep everything engaged, to keep that back flat. We're going to go ahead and go up into tabletop. So get one leg up, really hang on to those muscles as you bring the other one up. We're going to put our hands behind our head and we're going to lift the upper body up. So this is endurance to maintain this position on both ends of it actually. Okay, we're going to take a breath in here. Breath out as we extend one leg. Any level, could be higher or lower, but keep that low back flat on the mat. Other side. I'm going to be doing 8 to 10 of these. Breath out, breath in, back to center. Really keep that pelvic floor, lower abs engaged, flattening the lower abdominal wall. Keeping that upper body up. Rectus abdominis obliques really working to lift here. Keeping the pelvis quiet. Let's get one more on each side. Head and shoulders down. And one leg down, another leg down. We're going to be moving right back up into that tabletop position. Just notice your low back. You may feel like if you've ever have any strain during these with all this leg movement up in the air, you can always bring knees to chest and give a little stretch and take the strain off your back. We're going to move into the next one. Go ahead and flatten the low back again into that imprinted position, pelvic floor, lower abs kick in. One leg up into tabletop, other leg up into tabletop. One arm toward the ceiling and the other. This focus, the other focus in this exercise will be to really control the rib cage. So the abdominals, keeping the rib cage down, not letting it pop up off the mat. We're going to take a breath in. Breath out, I'm going to extend my right leg, keeping my back flat on the floor, and my right arm is going to travel down. My left arm is going overhead. That's where you really have to hang onto the rib cage. Breath into center. So really working pelvic floor, lower abs as you keep the low back flat on the mat and working the other abdominals and controlling that rib cage as the other arm goes overhead. Keep lifting up on pelvic floor, lower abs, flat, low back on the mat. Pelvis very quiet, back quiet. Let's get a couple more on each side. Arms down, one leg down, other leg down. Let's go ahead and do a little knee to chest here. Kind of stretch out the low back, take any strain off that you may be feeling. We're going to move into scissors from here. This also would be done in the imprinted position. So go ahead and flatten your low back into the mat. You're going to bring one leg up toward the ceiling and the other leg up toward the ceiling. We're going to lift the upper body up. So again, working endurance of the upper body and the abdominals to keep the upper body curled up. We're going to be taking a breath in here, breath out as one leg extends down, other hip flexes up with a double beat. Breathe in as the legs pass. Nice hamstring stretch here as well. Lower abs on pelvic floor. Work those muscle groups. Keep the upper body high. Let's get a couple more each side. Head and shoulders down, one leg down, other leg down. Our last exercise in this section is going to be neck pull preparation. So you're going to need to come to a seated position, either doing your side lying option, or one leg pulling you up, or the full roll up, but always in control. All right, we come to sitting. We're going to go into a long sitting with the legs out straight, legs out about shoulder width apart, toes pulling toward your nose. So dorsiflexed ankles, nice tall sit. If you're having trouble here, get a little pad under your hips. Neck pull is actually a progression of the full roll up. So it's harder because the arms are here, which adds weight to the exercise. So coming up through the full roll up is really difficult. So what we're going to be doing is the preparation, which is also a nice amount of work. So hands behind the head. We're nice and tall to start. Breath in and pulling up through pelvic floor and lower abs. Keep those engaged. Breath out. Let the pelvis drop back. You're going to start going into that curved position. Let yourself roll back, keeping the elbows out. Come to a spot where you feel like if you try to hold this, you might drop down. Big breath in. Breath out. Pull that curved body out over the legs. Pelvic floor, lower abs firing. Breath in. Roll up to a tall sit. Breath out, pelvis drops back. Breath in down here. Breath out, bring that curved body out over the legs. Breath in, roll up to tall sit. Breath out, rolling back. Breath in, breath out, curved body over the legs. Pull up the pelvic floor and those lower abs. Breath in up to tall sit. Breath out, roll down. Breath in, breath out, coming out over the legs. Breath in up to tall sit. One more here. Breath out, let the pelvis drop back. Roll back. Big breath in. Breath out, bring that curved body over the legs. That's a wonderful full body and nervous system stretch. Breath in up to tall sit. Go ahead and let yourself now roll down all the way. And one last big abdominal and body stretch, arms overhead, toes pointing toward the opposite wall, and a big breath in, breath out. And that's the end of our section 2 of the abdominals in the second series. We'll see you for the back and hip series.